Most millionaires and multimillionaires don't look rich at all. Picture this. There's a car parked next to yours every day in your office parking lot. It's an old 2009 Toyota Camry. The paint is dull, the bumper has a dent that no one even notices anymore. You assume the owner's just getting by, maybe dealing with bills, maybe living paycheck to paycheck. But what you don't know is this. He has $4.7 million invested in index funds. His house is completely paid off. His salary doesn't even matter anymore because his investments already cover all his expenses. In reality, he could retire today and live comfortably for the rest of his life without touching the principal. And the wild part? That old Camry is a choice, not a limitation. This is the mistake most people make. They confuse looking rich with actually being rich. Someone could be sitting right next to you in a cafe wearing simple clothes, driving an average car, living in a normal neighborhood, and still be financially free. Meanwhile, the people trying to look rich are often the ones under the most pressure. Research from the Millionaire Next Door, which studied thousands of wealthy individuals, found something surprising. Most self-made millionaires don't live flashy lives. They live quietly. They drive normal cars. They avoid attention. And they rarely signal their wealth outwardly. Real wealth is usually invisible. Today, I'm going to walk you through 9 clear signs that someone has built real, lasting wealth, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself. And here's the interesting part. These aren't just observations. They're habits you can actually start building yourself. Sign 1. They stay emotionally neutral about money. One of the first signs of real wealth is emotional calm when money comes up. Pay attention to how they speak. They don't say, "That's expensive," with stress or reaction. They simply state numbers like facts. Yeah, that's around $150. No emotion, no tension. For most people, money carries pressure. It represents status, fear, insecurity, or comparison. But for financially secure people, money becomes information, not emotion. They evaluate it logically. Does this cost make sense for the value? Does this decision support my long-term plan? That's it. They don't exaggerate wealth. They don't hide it either. They just don't perform with it. And there's a simple pattern here. They don't talk about income, they don't discuss what they own, and they don't structure their life around showing anything. Wealth becomes quiet by default. Sign 2. They drive older, fully paid-off cars. A strong signal of real wealth is surprisingly simple. Their car is not impressive. Studies show most self-made millionaires avoid luxury cars. Many buy used. Most avoid car loans entirely. Why? Because cars are one of the fastest depreciating assets in life. A new car loses a large chunk of its value immediately after purchase and continues dropping every year after that. Wealthy people understand this clearly, so instead of paying for status, they buy practicality after depreciation has already happened. The difference isn't small. Over time, avoiding unnecessary car payments and investing that money instead can turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're not unaware of luxury cars. They just choose ownership over appearance. Sign 3. They spend on boring but high-value things. There are 2 types of spending. One is visible, the other is useful. People trying to look wealthy spend on things others notice: cars, clothes, vacations, brands. Wealthy people spend on things that quietly improve their life: accountants that reduce tax waste, insurance that protects everything they've built, financial advisors who optimize long-term growth, systems that save money over years. None of these are impressive to post online, but they create long-term financial stability. Wealth grows from invisible infrastructure, not visible lifestyle. Sign 4. They are careful with small spending, decisive with big decisions. Wealthy people often seem strict with small purchases, but surprisingly fast with important ones. They might compare prices for an $80 item carefully, but approve an $18,000 essential repair immediately. This isn't contradiction, it's clarity. Small spending is about discipline and awareness. It prevents financial leaks. Big spending is about necessity. Delay in critical areas often create bigger losses later. Most people get this reversed. They spend impulsively on small things and hesitate on important ones. Wealthy people do the opposite. Sign 5.
They delay impulse decisions. One major difference is timing. Most modern spending is emotional and instant. One click, one purchase, no delay. Wealthy people break that cycle. They use waiting rules: 24 hours for small purchases, 7 days for medium ones, 30 days for major decisions. And something interesting happens. Most desires disappear with time. What felt urgent in the moment often feels unnecessary later. This isn't discipline alone, it's design. They let time filter their decisions instead of emotion. Sign 6. They prevent lifestyle inflation. Most people increase their spending every time their income increases. Higher salary, higher lifestyle, same savings. Wealthy people avoid this trap. When income rises, they don't upgrade their lifestyle immediately. Instead, they keep expenses stable and let the gap turn into savings and investments. That gap is where wealth is created. Without it, income means nothing. Many millionaires live below their means not because they have to, but because they understand how wealth is actually built. Sign 7. They value time more than money. At a certain level of wealth, time becomes more valuable than money. So instead of doing everything themselves, they outsource tasks that don't require their attention. They'll pay for convenience, speed, delegation, efficiency, because their focus is worth more than the cost of outsourcing. The shift is simple: from "how much does this cost" to "what am I really getting back from this?" Sign 8. They stay calm during market drops. When markets fall, most people panic. They feel like money is disappearing, even though it's just temporary fluctuation. Wealthy individuals behave differently. They don't react emotionally. They don't sell out of fear. Some even continue investing more. They understand something critical: market drops are not losses unless you act on them. Historically, every major downturn has been followed by recovery. The problem is not volatility, it's reaction to volatility. Wealth grows through patience, not timing. Sign 9. They stop comparing themselves to others. One of the strongest signs of financial maturity is the end of comparison. Most spending pressure doesn't come from need, it comes from observation. Someone upgrades their car, you feel behind. Someone posts a vacation, you feel pressure. Wealthy people break that loop. They stop measuring life through other people's choices. Instead, they define their own standard: what matters to them, not what looks good to others. Once comparison disappears, financial pressure drops dramatically, and saving becomes natural. Final thought. Go back to that old Camry in the parking lot. Now it makes more sense. That car isn't a sign of limitation, it's often a sign of strategy. Real wealth is usually built quietly, over time, through habits that don't look impressive at all. No noise, no attention, no performance. Just discipline repeated long enough to compound. And by the time most people notice it, it's already built.